You know, sometimes it's hard to tell people how you really feel, especially if you're a guy. Hey man, I really appreciate our friendship. What? I said, good game this weekend, right?
Oh yeah, you're right, man. That was sweet.
Sometimes we put off telling people how much we really care, or the impact that they've had on our lives, maybe even to the point that it's too late. But I don't want that to happen, and now that I've got this huge audience of YouTubers, then I figure it's the perfect time to do this. So grab that box of Kleenex and prepare your mind for my most sentimental episode yet, as we delve into some of the coolest things that I admire about my dad. You know, for Father's Day. I love that he instilled in me a work ethic. Dad, I've done all the math, and if you loan me the money for a new computer, then in 3 months, I'll be able to pay you back.
You're saying that in 3 months, you'll have enough money to buy that computer?
Yeah.
Sounds to me like you'll be buying the computer in 3 months then.
Oh. My dad is genuinely selfless. I remember one time a friend of mine at church didn't have a dad. His dad wasn't around. And my church had a little t-ball league or something like that. He wasn't gonna play because he didn't have a baseball glove. So my dad talked to his mother and said that he would like to take him to buy a baseball glove. And what I love about this is that he didn't just buy him a baseball glove and give it to him, but he knew how important it was for him to get to go and pick out a baseball glove with a guy. This is very characteristic of my dad. He is kind and loving and cares about others. My dad displays faith in action. For example, I haven't always been the famous rich YouTube star that I am today. I realize now that there were times when I was a kid, when my dad was just getting his business started, that he wasn't always sure where our next meal was coming from. But I remember one time he told us that we would always sit at the table as a family for dinner, even if that meant setting the table, bowing our heads, and thanking God for the meal that he would provide, because my dad knew that God would provide for us. My dad taught me what it means to be a man. Like most teenagers, I had a bit of an attitude problem. One time, myself and my parents are in this huge argument, and I can't even remember what it was. I probably wanted to go to the roller rink with some of my friends and hadn't finished all of my schoolwork. Something extremely manly like that. And I was yelling and saying something about how if they loved me and if they respected me, then they would let me go to the roller rink and eat pizza and go around on roller skates with all of my friends. At that moment, my dad grabbed me by the nape of my neck and took me outside, kind of tossed me outside. For one, because I was yelling at him. Worse yet, I was yelling at my mom, which was a big no-no. I knew that one day I would grow big enough to be able to take my dad in a fight, but this was not that day. Actually, that day has not come yet. So he takes me outside and he looks at me, he stands his ground, and he says, "You think you're a man?" "Yeah, I think so." "Well, come on then. Show me what a man does." Oh my goodness, I was so scared. Do I turn around and run away? Do I punch him? Prove myself to be a man? And he steps at me and I'm like ready, and he hugs me. And he embraces me and he says, "This is what a man does." What? Whew. That stuck with me, and I admire that. He taught me through that and other lessons that masculinity isn't determined by your anger or your strength or your sports playing ability or how many girls you can get. True manliness and masculinity is determined by how much you care about others, even when they are entirely impossible. Manliness is about being respectful and a gentleman, even if people around you seem to be begging you to be the opposite. Well, there you go. Now you know a little bit about my dad. Probably more than he wants you to know about him. There's so much more that I could say about my father. He's an honorable man. He loves my mother. He's now a fantastic granddaddy. He displays love in action to his grandchildren better than anyone else in their lives. There's 1,000 other things that my dad's great at that I still haven't mastered. And since moving to Nashville, we don't get to spend as much time together. And that really stinks. Yeah, I said it. But I know that he's proud of me, and I sure the heck am proud of him. Hey Kevin, you did a video about your mom, and that was a video about how funny she was, and you did a video about your dad, and that's all serious. Does that mean that your dad's all serious and your mom's all goofy? That's how I imagine every single one of the viewers of my show act. Is that so wrong? Well, actually, my dad's hilarious, but I gotta save some material for next year. Thanks for watching. I know that everybody's family dynamic is gonna be different. Not everyone's gonna be just like me, which is what's great about it. So I wanna hear about you. Who's somebody who you look up to and admire and who's had an influence on your life? Tell me in the comments below. I'm Kevin. Until next time, good night.